Hi everyone, a bit earlier with this video this week. I'm just gonna go through Naas on its own. Mainly the Lawlers in Naas over 2 miles 4, which was a big race for the Albert Bartlett and for the Ballymore, and has repercussions for the Supreme as well. So I thought I'd spend a bit of time on that race today, and then I'll do a video tomorrow just on Kempton, Punchestown, and Fairyhouse, looking at those runners and perhaps talking about some of those and how they impact the markets. But we'll talk about Naas in this video and mainly the Lawlers, but quickly the other two runners that could go to Cheltenham. Well, prospective runners now. Mr. Policeman ain't winning no Arkle. I said that after his first performance. Another dreadful jumping performance from him in this race yesterday. He was shocking really early on, all over the place. The betting told a story as his price quickly went from 1.5 to 1.7 to 1.9, 2.3, and just going further and further out as the race progressed. Just terrible performance from him. Safoer looked probably like he was going to be the beneficiary, but like a lot of Elliott horses over the weekend, he underperformed. Do wonder if, just that maybe the flu jobs or something's kicking in at Calantra. He didn't seem to run his race. Calixos was the beneficiary in the end and won nicely. He jumped okay, and he's won a triumph. I don't think he's going to be winning an Arkle or anything like that, but yeah, it was a decent performance. Quickly on to Tullyhill. Now, this horse has a serious engine, but another one from Cheltenham that seems to didn't get any schooling. I think they're taking them straight from their bumpers straight onto the racetrack. The way some of these are running at the moment, Mr. Policeman's jumping over fences was shocking, and Tullyhill's was slightly better in this race, but it wasn't that much better than his debut. And yeah, disappointing, I thought, in the jumping department. But he can run, and he's got an engine. If they can iron his jumping out before the Supreme, he'd have a serious chance. But it's not a long time to the Supreme, and they're going to have to work on it pretty much daily, I would think, to get him jumping slickly enough to win a Supreme. Did see the interview with Willie Mullins after racing, and he said the same thing, that the horse needs to jump better. So hopefully when we see him again, he'll look a bit better than he did in this race. He actually wasn't so bad for the first mile, but in the second mile of the race, he wasn't so great. So yeah, although the horse has got a big engine and good bumper form, he needs to seriously iron out his jumping. On to the Lawlers and Naas. Now, this is going to be a race where you could put anybody in front of this camera and you are going to get a completely different version of events on this race. Taking them from last to first, Croke Park probably isn't good enough to run in this sort of company over 2 miles 4, but I would also say that, like I said, the Elliott runners didn't run well this weekend. I don't know if it was quite his running, although it was probably a bit much for him. I don't think he ran his race either. Chapeau du Soleil, another from Cheltenham that just can't jump. I mean, just an unbelievably bad jump at the second, the third, the fifth. I had my doubts when I saw Patrick Mullins riding this horse, because I'm not a fan, and I don't think he helped. But yeah, Chapeau du Soleil is turning into a severe disappointment to me, and this was dreadful. On Tabor, I think probably this is as good as On Tabor is, and I wouldn't really be looking at him for anything at Cheltenham. Firefox was eased down when his chance had gone. He was beaten off by Ile Atlantique quite readily, I thought. You would think, did he really run his race here? You wouldn't think that if all the Elliots were running well, but they're not. So you do wonder if this was the real Firefox, but if it was, then he certainly ain't winning at Cheltenham either. But the way he beat Ballyburn, and he's beaten Ile Atlantique last season in a bumper, so, you do have to sort of perhaps give him a bit more of a chance that maybe this wasn't his running. We'll just have to wait and see. Lecky Watson, many people will put this horse up for the Bartlett. Now, I have this feeling about Lecky Watson that he's going to be one of the ones that fools you a little bit, and that he looks like he's unlucky. He looks like he's going to, as soon as you go up in distance, he's going to do better. It could be that I've got him wrong and that everyone else has seen. I mean, I can see the fact that he looks like over 3 miles he'd be a really good horse, and that you would think that he would be the Albert Bartlett type. I just wonder if he's fooling me a little bit, and that he's going to look like run on over 3 miles as well and still not win. And I think he's going to be maybe that type of horse, a bit like 3 Card Bragg was last season over hurdles. Perhaps I've got him wrong, but I do wonder. Now, the front two is quite contentious as well, because everyone I speak to now is saying to me, Reading Tommy Wrong was really good, and he was good. And a lot of people think he should have won further as well. And this is where the contention comes in, because my feeling is that Ile Atlantique just got in the heat of the battle too early, and I think he's the one to take out the race myself. So I don't know if I've got it wrong, but it seems like I'm in the minority, that's for sure. I didn't think he was going to lead, but Chapeau de Soleil made the mistakes. Then he did lead, and I felt like he was just going. Each time a horse came to him, he was going. And I think he used a lot of petrol up when Firefox came to him. I think he thought he was the big rival. If I burn off Firefox, I'll win this. And when Firefox came to him at the top of the straight, he thought he was in a battle, and Townend went. And by the time Reading Tommy Wrong, who'd sat out the back, came to him at the last, Ile Atlantique didn't quite have enough petrol left in the tank to come and beat him as well. But he gave it a fair go, to give him credit. Now, some people will say that Ile Atlantique's been beaten in close finishes a couple of times where he's not quite seen it out, like the race last season with Firefox and again yesterday. I'm of the different opinion. I think if you can get Ile Atlantique settled in second or third off a decent pace at Cheltenham, and just let him come just over the second last, coming into the straight, just let him ease into the lead and try and sort of push clear, I think you'll see a different Ile Atlantique myself. Now, I wouldn't back any of them at the moment for the Ballymore, but if someone gave me the money and said you have to back one out of Lawlor's and Ace, it would definitely be Ile Atlantique. Now, I've probably done Reading Tommy Wrong a disservice here in this video. He was a really good winner. If he hadn't knocked the last flat, he probably would have won further. I do wonder if he just caught Ile Atlantique on a day where he fought all his battles and Reading Tommy Wrong came and floored him at the end. It's like a boxer who's had a lot of hard fights against really good opponents, and then one of the opponents who you wouldn't have thought would beat him has come in when he's taken a lot of heavy blows and a lot of hard fights, and he's just knocked him down. I get the impression it's a bit like that. I would take Ile Atlantique out the race myself. So, it hasn't made the Supreme, the Ballymore, or the Albert Bartlett a whole lot clearer, although everybody thought it would. I'll be back to you tomorrow with my assessment of Kempton, Fairyhouse and Punchestown. But that's my assessment of Lawlor's and Naas. I know everybody is going to disagree because it's a race that's very contentious. Everybody will have a different opinion of the race. I can only put my own up on the video. So thanks for watching. I'll be back to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye for now.